Budgety Modern, yeah. Hello, welcome to Budgety Modern with K-Ponce, that's me. This is Black White Humans, and this deck is something I've just been messing around with. Haven't actually played any leagues with it yet, but I feel like it could be strong. It's going to do similar things to Death and Taxes and be a little bit more low to the ground, fewer lands, and no 4-drops. So basically, this deck is a little less focused on the taxing effects and a little more focused on the human synergies. And we've got Champion of the Parish, a 1-mana 4/4-ish if they let it live for a couple turns. So pretty powerful, can end the game pretty fast. Raven Inspector, good blocker, gets you some value, draws you some extra cards. Thalia, Guardian of Thraben, is the taxing effect in the deck. She's great. We only have Path to Exile and Ether Vial that are affected by her tax. Dark Confidant happens to be a human, also is a very, very good card. Drawing extra cards every turn is great. Kitesail Freebooter is one of the new cards in Ixalan that made me want to try and build Black White Humans because it's a disruptive creature, kind of like Tide Hollow Sculler, but it's a human, and it also has flying, which is really nice once you can pump it up with Athalia's Lieutenant. Mirror Crusader happens to be great with pump as well. Making it bigger makes it deal way more damage. Happens to be good against black and green decks. Something that I'm trying out is Vizier of Deferment. It's not quite Flicker Wisp. It's definitely not as good as Flicker Wisp, but it's got a couple things going for it in that it has flash itself, so you don't need the vial to make it be able to do the dirty things on their turn or in the middle of combat. It also has 1 extra toughness, and it's a human. Now this one is a pretty taxing effect as well. All their creatures come in tapped and all their non-basic lands come in tapped. Sideboard pretty typical for a black-white taxing deck. You've got a couple Rest in Peace, a couple Grafdigger's Cage for the Dredge matchup, and for Coco and Cord deck. Stony Silence is great against Tron, against Affinity, Lantern, Ad Nauseam. It's got a bunch of matchups where it's like really, really powerful, and then obviously against Affinity it's pretty insane. A couple Fatal Pushes, removal in the deck post sideboard when you're trying to stop creature decks. A couple Kambal for the Storm matchup and or any blue-white control. Orzhov Pontiff, great against tokens, great against mana dorks, and also great against Affinity. So yeah, that's the list. Let's take it into a competitive league. Budgety Modern, yeah. Hello and welcome to round 1 with Black White Humans. We are on the draw here with a very solid hand. Turn 1 Vial is what you want, and a couple of 2-drops and a 3-drop. It's pretty ideal. We got lands, we got turn 1 Vial, we got Search for Tomorrow from our opponent is pretty scary. Scapeshift doesn't seem like a good matchup. We do have Kitesail Freebooters, and we're gonna have Collective Brutality out of the sideboard. But yeah, basically we're hoping for Kitesail Freebooter to save the day. To take those Scapeshifts out of their hand, and once they play the Titan, it's going to be pretty difficult for us to beat that as well. Not a great situation being on the draw against Scapeshift game 1, but we'll see how it goes. In building the deck, I kind of realized that this deck is a little bit weak to this type of strategy. But yeah, I mean, it's modern, it's a wide open format, and Scapeshift is pretty popular, so in building a deck you should probably have a decent, or at least winnable Scapeshift matchup. I'm not sure that this deck does. This deck is much more aggressive than most other black-white decks in the format. So I could just be aggressive enough and they could be slow enough that they can't get the lethal Scapeshift in time. And that's basically the idea here. It's just I'm going to try to race him, but it's going to be tough. Freebooter, there we go. Freebooter is a really good draw. Another Thalia's Lieutenant is also a pretty great draw. Alright, yeah, we definitely have the ability to be pretty aggressive here. I'm unsure if I want to get that guy out of combat. I think we're just gonna play the freebooter. Could have attacked with Mutavault there, but I think it's better to get the freebooter down first to get that pumped as well. Alright, we get to take the scape shift. That's good. And they're going to have a Titan next turn. But we might be able to just overrun the Titan. Yeah, they're going to go land Mountain number 4 into Titan into 2 Valakits, probably. Or a Valakit and a Mountain. And then every mountain land beyond that is going to deal us damage. Alright, well that's a problem, but this is winnable. There, we're just gonna violin the lieutenant here. You know, maybe I should have activated Vile before combat, because they probably would have sacked the Soccer Tribe Elder in response to the Vile activation, thinking that we have Leonin Arbiter in our deck, and then we would have gotten an extra 5 damage here. That actually might have been huge. It's probably a mistake, just because this is not like a known quantity, this Black-White Humans deck. Most times that people see these cards, they would expect Leonin Arbiter on a Vile on 2, so yeah, I should have realized that my opponent would probably play around that. Although maybe they would. No, they wouldn't have, because they had the mana to. Yeah, it wouldn't have mattered. Alright, there's the prime time. There's the 2 Valakits. Alright, so we do stand to take lethal next turn if we can't do lethal. We can blank their attack with prime time, but then it comes back into play and deals more damage, so that seems terrible. Yeah. Path, that was a great draw. Alright. Take it. Is this lethal? 6, 7, 8, 11. I think it's lethal. Yeah, it is. Yeah, we're just gonna path this dude. Sweet. Activate Mutavault. Violin the Lieutenant. And that'll do. Alright, we raced him. This is turn 4? Oh shit. Alright, we just won pretty handily on turn 4. Pretty excited about that. Alright, decent first game with the deck. Smashed Escape Shift. Alright. that was fun. That was cool. Interactive magic. I mean, we had some interaction there. We freebooted their escape ship. So basically, we're bringing in collective brutality, and Kambal seems alright. Yeah, I like Kambal here. Vizier Deferment I don't like as much, even though it does have Flash, which could be nice against Sweltering Suns in the leg. I think Kambal is probably better. If we can get that down early enough, they have to take a lot of damage to cast their Farseeks and whatever. It is legendary, so maybe just one. Don't want to draw two. That would be pretty unfortunate. So yeah, we're really leaning on drawing. Yeah, I guess Thraben Inspector is not great. It's okay, but it's not exactly where we want to be. We don't have any like slam dunk, insane sideboard cards against this deck. It's basically we want to Collective Brutality their Escape Shift and hope to path their Prime Time and just get in there for enough damage in time and keep them off doing anything too quickly with Thalia's 1 and 2. But yeah, we also have Freebooter. We have some interaction, as we saw in game 1. Yeah, pretty sweet game 1 there for us. This hand is a keep because Double Perish is just really good. Probably just gonna get a Plains since we have no black cards in our hand, and going to 18 is actually bad against Escape Shift. We would have to go to 17 to get Godless Shrine, but yeah, going to 18 makes it so they can win on 7 lands, whereas if you stay at 20 they need at least 8 lands to win with Escape Shift, unless they have Prismatic Omen. And so far, yeah, we don't have any black cards reasons to get a Godless Shrine. We also do have black fixing and Ghost Quarter. Yeah, definitely leading with Champ here. If they don't Sweltering Suns on turn 3, then we might be able to get these champs out of range. Alright, that's a good start for us, unless they have the Bolt. Then playing a slow land there is definitely nice. There's a black card that punishes us a little bit for not getting the Godless Shrine, but so here it definitely makes more sense to play the champ, because next turn both champs get bigger with the Lieutenant. The only reason not to is if we had a black source in our hand, then it would be nice to next turn play Champ and Bob, and that might have been better than playing the second Champ on turn 2. Not sure though. It might always just be correct to play the second champion in that position. Haven't done all the math, but it seems to check out that Lieutenant is something you want to do once you have at least 2 other humans in play, if you can. They're on 4 here. Anger their guts. There it is. Alright. Fair enough. Yeah, if they didn't have that, I think we were getting out of range there. So here I like Thalia. Uses our mana more efficiently, and next turn we could do both of these if we draw land. They have a Bolt? Wow. Okay. They had a pretty good hand for an aggro deck. Alright. We did draw the land. That's really nice. So they're not out of the woods yet. We still have more aggression coming in every turn. Now if they have another sweeper, then it's probably over. But I like the odds here of just restocking the hand with Bob and getting in there. Another sweeper. Wow. My opponent's hand was stacked. That is ridiculous. Double anger bolt hand, huh? Well, there we go. And they have a Valakut in play. Only 3 other mountains, or only 3 mountains right now, so... Wow! Double bolt, double anger. Must be nice. Wow. Opponent's hand was literally the best possible hand. Wow. That was something. Alright. I mean, we have a bunch of paths, but now every land they draw is going to be 3 damage. It's making me think we should have a Gideon's Intervention or 2 in the sideboard, which is probably correct. I saw Todd Stevens playing Gideon's Intervention in the sideboard, and it does look pretty good. Ruined Halo, I guess, is also a card. Ruined Halo, you can name Valakut, right? And then with all those paths, I would have been able to survive. Yeah, let's just run it back. Champ, Thalia, Freebooter, yeah, this is a great hand. There's the champ. Gonna lead with Thalia. Deals more damage. Also has better chance of slowing our opponent up. Also waiting with Freebooter's good. And then yeah, turn 3, both of those is gonna be nice. Yeah, I'll go ahead and name human with this. Thalia is going to slow up their Slagstorm plans. Not Slagstorm, it's Anger of the Gods, and Sweltering Suns is generally what these decks are playing. And it seems like our opponent is on the Anger of the Gods plan. Do they have the Lightning Bolt? They do have the Lightning Bolt. Alright, that's a bummer. Well, now that there's no Champion of the Parish in play that I'm going to pump twice, I think it's actually better to play the other Thalia. Just really slow up our opponent here. They don't have basics. This deck is one of the decks that plays the most basics in Modern, but still. They do also play a lot of fetches. And they do play creatures. So Valakut. Alright. That would have come in tapped anyway. So suppose we want a free boot after combat. Let them bolt if they're gonna bolt. Yeah, there's the bolt. That's good. So here comes Freebooter. What do you got for me? Our Promise, Primetime, Explore. Well, they can't primetime next turn. And maybe we'll find... We're definitely taking Our Promise because that's obviously their play. So they're going to explore, which doesn't do anything. Yeah, I mean, we're taking Our Promise. Having the Ghost Quarter here is very good. I'm just going to play Bob because it deals more damage. Even though we do have to go down to 18 to do that. They don't have Escape Shift in hand, so I'm not that worried about them getting to 7 and playing Escape Shift. Even though they do have a redraw here. Also playing Bob, we could always go under 18 at any time. They're swinging 6, they're at 10. So, oh yeah, and their prime time is going to come in tapped, which is huge. They got a second Valakut. They played the Explorer. So we know they have Forest, Primetime, Unknown card. Oh yeah, there's their Forest. So Primetime's going to come in. They're not going to have enough mountains. And it comes in tapped. So right now, if their last card is not Escape Shift, we're going to win. If their last card is Escape Shift, or if they draw one, we're going to lose. Oh wait, does that do it? 3 more damage. No, they're at 1. We're going to put them to 1 with this Thalia's Lieutenant. So if they draw Anger of the Gods, I should have put him to 1. I should have played the Thalia's Lieutenant. Because that way they couldn't crack a fetch next turn. I think that was a misplay. Alright, so this is the big turn here. Do they have it? Landscape Shift we couldn't have done anything about. Our Promise doesn't do it. Lightning Bolt into Our Promise doesn't do it because it only gets them to 5 mountains. Lightning Bolt into Our Promise into Play Mountain keeps them alive, which is why we really should have put them to 1. And we could get very punished by that oversight here. Yeah, I absolutely should have put him to 1. I mean, I do have a ghost quarter here, which is really nice to deal with one of the Valakutes. They might also just not have an untapped land for land number 7. There's 4 mountains. They're at 2. Why'd they pay 2 life there? I think they misclicked on that. Alright. So I think I could have played that a little better. Definitely should have played the Thalia's Lieutenant, putting them to 1. Just to give them less or fewer outs. But that worked out. Budgety Modern. Yeah. Alright, hello and welcome to round 2 with Black White Humans. Triple Ether Vial. On the play. That is too many Ether Vials. If it was 2 with the 2 Thalias, I'd probably keep it. But 3 Vials is basically a mull to 5. It's a good mull to 5. Like, this 5-card hand is very good, and I would love to keep that. On the play, Thalia into Thalia is kind of insane. But these 2 other Ether Vials are basically mulligans, so I'm going to mulligan once anyway. This hand's much less explosive, but also reasonable. Cavern's good. Freebooter on turn 2 isn't like an insane play or anything, but Freebooter into Heretic Ithar and Lieutenant means we have some decent beats coming in. Certainly not going to win on turn 4 like we did game 1 of last round, but we have a good chance of being disruptive enough and proactive enough to win this game, depending on what our opponent's doing. Based on their Tezzeret avatar and their slow play so far, I'm just going to assume they're on... Oh, well, now I don't get to assume anything. They are on Black-White Processor Eldrazi, which this hand's not terrible against. Alright, Wasteland Strangler is problematic, especially since they have the Relic online already. But there are no cards in my graveyard for them to exile as of yet, so this is actually pretty good for us, unless we get a card in our graveyard. So yeah, alright. They kept kind of a slow hand. I mean, it was a good hand. I would have kept that hand too. They played Ghost Quarter. Oh, so they can put a card in our graveyard. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. So now the Eldrazi Temple is going to come in tapped, which is really good for us. Gonna go ahead and get a plains here, since now we can cast Path. Pretty unlikely that I'm going to path this Wasteland Strangler because I don't care that much about its body. Its effect is very powerful. Oh yeah, and they can't cast it yet. Anyway. Yeah, let's bring those beats. Thalia, Heretic Cathar, very good here. They're probably going to opt to kill Thalia. No, they're going to choose to try to get their path back. That's an interesting play. I don't know if I agree with it. But maybe they figure they'll just path this. And they have some more turns. So yeah, I guess it kind of makes sense. And we're flooding out a bit here. So it's going to work out for them. If we had another relevant threat to play there, I feel like we're in really good position, but we got a little flooded here. And they might be able to turn the corner. Since Thalia is certainly getting pathed. Alright, we don't know any of the cards in their hand at this point. It's tempting to path the Strangler, but I might as well wait. Since I have all the mana in the world. Wow. Yeah, this sucks. I'm definitely more worried about other creatures in their deck, so I'm gonna wait. Since getting this 1 damage is probably not gonna be game breaking. The fact that they're not cracking the relic. Oh, they are. Okay. That's good. That means they need to draw something good here. If they Reality Smash, I should have left the Castle in my hand. Yeah, I should have probably left Castle in my hand knowing they have Reality Smasher. Yeah. Not here. They're going to take a path no matter what here. So I'm just going to let them take one of the paths. And then we're going to path and a turn so they don't get to see the card that we draw. We could path in response, but it's higher value to path so they don't get to see our draw. Come on, something. It's pretty good. Does it make more sense? Yeah, we'll play this one first. Let's drop this. Cavern doesn't matter here. Ooh, Vizier. That's pretty good. Now we're swinging it for 4. They're just going to take it. Alright, we're in good position here. finally drew some creatures. Another Thought-Knots here. Displacer. That's a problem. So how do we win this game? We have a 4/4 they can blink. We can blink Arthur Raven Inspector, digging for a clue to find another path to deal with Displacer. Otherwise, that Displacer is going to be really hard to beat here. I suppose we swing out, see what happens. Don't know if this is correct. Vizier Deferment kind of incentivizes me to swing out here. Block like that. They could blink the Strangler in response to kill the Cathar, or the Lieutenant, which is maybe correct since this guy's blocking this guy. Yeah, that does make sense. They'll take 2, go to 2. Oh, they're gonna kill Raven Inspector. I guess I could have waited for them to act. Yeah, that probably would have been better. Yeah, I think I was supposed to wait for them to act. Since they were most likely going to act. Either way there. Yeah, I think that was a punt. And now they get... What are they doing? Lingering Soul. Alright. Corner fully turned. Probably gonna lose this game. Eldrazi Displacer, folks. There's a reason that I love this card so much when I'm playing with it. Got a bit flooded this game, and came out of it almost in time. But then they found a Displacer and then a Lingering Souls, and it's going to be really difficult for us to beat that combination of cards. Just going to concede. I don't think there's any combination of things we could get in the main deck. I guess if we find a path, then we can beat the Lingering Souls. So yeah, I'll give it another turn or two here, looking for a path. Their deck doesn't actually draw cards very well, So like a strangler killed the vizier. Killed the lieutenant. Alright. So we're still in okay shape if we can find a path for that displacer. I'd say we need to draw it like this turn or the next. And we need them to blank more, like just draw Tide Hollow Colors, things like that. Because we are on like a 3-turn clock at this point. Maybe 2 if they want both of our creatures. Yeah, probably a 2-turn clock. Yeah, okay. Was not gonna get there. Bummer, but we do have some ways of interacting a little bit more powerfully in game 2 here. Pontiff kills their Lingering Souls tokens, and that's about it, but it is really important to be able to kill those tokens. Mirror Crusader is not at its best here. It's okay against Lingering Souls, so maybe I want to leave 1 Mirror Crusader. Vizier is also not great. I think I definitely misplayed in not waiting for them to act that turn. It wouldn't have mattered, but it did matter in that turn that I should have waited for them to make the first move. Yeah, I think a few mistakes were made there. Collective Brutality can take their path and Lingering Souls, and it kills Wasteland Strangler and Tide Hollow Color. And that's about it, I guess. But those are 2 cards that they're definitely going to leave in their deck. And I suppose it's 2 for 1. Seems okay. Thalia isn't amazing against them, but it does have First Strike, which is good against Lingering Souls. Probably can take out a couple of these. Maybe I do want Mirror Crusader because it trades straight up with Thought-Knots here. And then we can board out all the Thraben Inspectors. Thraben Inspector in this matchup is okay. Some redraws when we go into the later game, but it's certainly not something I'm excited to have against them. I think I'd rather have removal that deals with their big dudes, their displacers and things. Triple Vial again, huh? Well, this is the same reasoning I'm going to mulligan this hand, is that Triple Vial is just too many. You always want 1 vial, and if there's 2 vials in your opener, you usually keep it if you have a couple creatures, but this is just, it's not worth it. Yeah, we're going to 5. Yeah, we're going to keep that one, bottom that, and probably lose this game pretty fast. Mold a 5 1-lander. Obviously should have kept the Triple Vial hand at this point, but I don't know. Being able to mulligan is like a privilege, you know, not a I don't know. Whatever. This is bad. We're dead. Land. Woo. Alright, well, there's no way that Bob lives if I play Bob first. There's also no way that Kitesail Freebooter lives if we play Kitesail Freebooter first. So whatever, we'll play Bob and just watch him die. If they path Bob, that's good. They didn't have the path there. Whoa, we're gonna untap with Bob? What did they keep? What? We just untapped with Bob? What is in their hand? I did not expect this. So now I feel like we're right back in this game with... Oh. Blessed Alliance. Did not expect that. I guess I should have played around Blessed Alliance. Most people don't play that card anymore, but I guess it makes sense. Bummer. Yeah, I could have played around Blessed Alliance and would have felt a lot better here, but wasn't really something that was on my radar there. It's a very non-popular, not very popular card in the format these days. Although it is good against Death Shadow, so it kind of makes sense to play it. Yeah, we're gonna pay 2 life here. We're gonna reboot. I guess I should have waited on the land. What you got here? Fatal push on freebooter. Okay. You have to look at your hand at least. You don't get to take anything. Reality Smasher, Thought Not Seer, Wasteland Strangler. So we're getting Thought Not Seared next turn. Don't have anything exiled, but Thought Not Seared will exile something. And then Wasteland Strangler or kill our guy. Yeah, we're probably going to lose this game. Very unlikely that we win, but if we draw a path in the next few draw steps, could be okay. Next, like, 2 draw steps. Otherwise, yeah, we're dead. We're not going to win this game. Multi 5 had a 1-lander, and this hand puts up a fight. Yeah, like if we draw a path, we're in okay shape. That's something. Something. What do I think they're gonna play? Huh. They're probably gonna play the Wasteland Strangler here, huh? Yeah, that's a bummer. It's gotta be Wasteland Strangler. Because Reality Smasher comes in tapped anyway. Yeah. Unfortunately, we can't flash this in and pump this. Yeah, if only we had a vial. Yeah, that sucks. Wish Vizier worked like Flicker Wisp, but it doesn't. My creature did not attack or block this turn, so I can't blink it. And yeah, that sucks. But if we Vizier the Thought Not Seer into a path here, that would be strong. Let's see if we can make that happen. Although it comes back in untapped, which is a problem. So we basically need to find a path. No. Alright. And we're dead. I think it was still correct to take the thought knot there. I mean, maybe not. We were attacking for 4. They go to 7. Yeah, maybe it was wrong to try and dig for paths since we weren't in that dire of straits yet. And now they have a blocker. We did find the path, though. That's awesome. Alright, well, we got there. Just gonna leave the planes in hand in case we drop path again next turn so we can kill their reality smasher. We're actually in okay shape. Another strangler. How did they exile another thing? Oh, because that's right. We blinked the thought knot. Yeah, we know about Reality Smasher. I don't think we know any other cards. Bummer. Wasting the Strangler, doing work. Yeah, they probably have to swing. We're not just dead here, though. If we could find a path... Oh, we did. Probably just want to trade off Vizier for one of the Stranglers. Then path the Reality Smasher and hope we can win. Yeah. Double block, sure. So what we also could have done there was... I guess we could decide what we want to path on their turn. We could probably take the 5 from Reality Smasher since we kill them faster than they kill us at this point. If we path the Strangler. They're swinging Strangler. Huh, that signals to me that they found a Displacer or something. If they found a Displacer, we're dead. So the fact that they're swinging with Strangler... this puts us to 5, which means we're just dead to the Reality Smasher. I guess we kind of have to path it. But if they play Thought Knots here post-combat... If they play Lingering Souls, we are so dead. Yeah, I mean, Lingering Souls we can't beat with path anyway. I suppose we have to path the Smasher. It's too risky to go to 5. Displacer. Yep. Heard that card's pretty good. Almost useful. Guess we'll attack first. And then we're just gonna kill the Strangler, although they can blink it. Alright, they're gonna blink that. So then we can kill Strangler. And that feels good. And Yeah, we need to draw another path. Our paths are just way too taxed against this deck. We need so many paths because we need. Ha 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 ha. Jeez. Alright. Well, it's probably a horrible matchup, and it's being shown here. Darn. Alright. Yeah, this place was really good. Budgety Modern. Yeah. Alright, hello and welcome to round 3 with Black White Humans. We just got trounced by a bunch of Eldrazi displacers last round. I think that's to be expected. I don't think that's a good matchup. We don't have enough Path to Exiles in the deck to deal with all the threats that we need to Path to Exile in that deck. We need to just be really aggressive and get them before they can slow us down, and we weren't able to do that. This hand is good. We're going to keep it. It's not particularly aggressive, but it's definitely got a good curve and some lands and some humans. So, yeah. Certainly going to keep. Would like to draw a Champion of the Parish for turn. Oh, playing against Affinity. This hand's not great against Affinity. Dahlia is historically terrible in this matchup. Kitesail Freebooter could be okay, but yeah, as we can see, they're dumping their entire hand this turn. So being on the draw makes Freebooter probably a non card. But luckily they don't actually have any payoff cards yet, and sometimes Affinity keeps hands that just like go off turn 1 but don't actually do much. And yeah, Ornithopter doesn't do a whole lot. If they don't have a Signal Pest or a Steel Overseer or a Ravager or Cranial Plating, there's Steel Overseer. Alright. We could draw Path. No Path. I mean, 2 1/3 Ornithopters and a 2/2 Steel Overseer is beatable if we draw a Path the turn after this. There's really no chance that Kitesail Freebooter hits anything, because if they had Cranial Plating, they would have played it with their 2 Springleaf Drums and creatures. So there's really no chance Freebooter hits anything. The only nice thing about Freebooter is that it blocks the 1/3 Ornithopters. So that might make it worth it, but I probably just want to dig and look for a path, because if I don't find a path, I lose the game. So I think that's what our plan is here. We just have to hope they have nothing but blanks for the next few turns and that we hit a path for that Overseer. And what's it going to be? Vault Scourge. Alright. That's fine. It's not great. Not what we want to see, really. We want to just see lands at this point. But, it's workable. It's better than a Ravager or another Steel Overseer or something. Definitely should have cracked on end step so they can't like Thoughtseize here, but main deck Affinity is not playing Thoughtseize, so I wasn't actually playing around anything by doing that. So we didn't find the path, and now their flyers are out of control. And we won't lose in the next 2 turns probably, but in the next 3 turns we certainly will, and it's too late now for us to come back from that Overseer. Alright, it's too late to turn back now. Brutalities, Fatal Pushes, Stony Silences, all coming in. That's 69 cards in our deck right now, which means we're going to cut the Thraben Inspectors, which really don't do anything and also are bad with Stony Silence. And I'm actually going to cut the Vials, I think. Is there anything else that's bad? Yeah, I guess Dahlia is pretty terrible. But she is a first strike ground pounder. Visor Deferment's pretty strong against Cranioplating and Arcbound Ravager. It's kind of nice. Mirror Crusader, pretty bad, but attacks. Kaizo Freebooter, also pretty bad. Our deck has a lot of dead cards against Affinity. I suppose we'll just cut a vial, since we don't want to draw 2 vials and a Stony Silence. Drawing 1 vial and a Stony Silence isn't the end of the world, because Stony Silence shuts off most of their deck. So yeah, let's try that. We do have a lot of good sideboard cards against them, but our main deck is certainly not very strong in this matchup. Certainly could steal a game with a couple of paths and a fast clock in game 1 on the play. On the draw against Affinity in game 1, as long as they don't have to mull to 5 and keep a crap hand, they're probably going to beat us 80% of the time. And that hand is what we like to call in the business a snap keep. We've got a 1-drop, we've got a Stony Silence, we've got a way to draw into more stuff that also pumps our 1-drop. Everything's golden in this hand, as long as they don't have wear and tear or the like. We got a good one. On the play with Stony Silence on turn 2, I think chances of winning are pretty high, as long as they don't Thoughtseize it right here. Alright, so far those 2 cards are pretty good against, those 3 cards are all really good against Stony Silence. So not bad, not bad. Stowns. Yeah, I'll attack. Send a message. They really didn't block? Okay. Got that free point of damage in. Some people just forget that Ornithopter has 2 toughness. Oh, I think my opponent just didn't realize that Darksteel Citadel doesn't tap for mana when Stony Silence is up. That worked out pretty well. We'll take 1 here for sure. That's fine. Ghost Quartering their Blink Moth is probably good, actually. I'm gonna play this Bob pre-combat because it actually does pump our creature, our champ, the Champeen. Get in there, champ. Some people don't like Bob against Affinity because they're somewhat of a burn deck in a way. I just don't agree with that, though. I think Bob is great, draws us into our hate cards, and I want to draw my hate cards against Affinity because it's really hard to beat them without cards like Stony Silence, and yeah, they just blasted our Bob. So if that tells you anything about how Bob is in the matchup. Yeah, I'll take that 1. Tempted to just Ghost Quarter the Spire, but that gives them red anyway. But it doesn't give them white, which could stop our Stony Silence. I don't have to do it now, I guess. Either vial. I think rather than play either vial, either vial doesn't do anything with Stony Silence. Never mind, we're not doing that. I'm not gonna hold up the Ghost Quarter. I'm just gonna get a Plains here. Play Roberto. Oops. Need to tap black with that. Bobby Rob, get out there. We're gonna pump up the volume here with the Mutavault. Swing 5. And our clock is much faster than theirs. Really love Mutavault in Modern, and in general. The card's very powerful and great in tribal decks. I have a 2-2 split in this deck, if you haven't noticed yet, of Ghost Quarters and Mutavaults, because we want Ghost Quarter to deal with some Tron-y stuff and some like problem man lands, and keeping people off a certain color is really good with Ghost Quarter. So I'm like half and half with the Mutavault. Alright, that's fine. Again, they're killing Bob, but Champ stays alive. And so does the Mutavault. So again, we're attacking for 5 and they're attacking for 1. So I'll take these trades here. Kitetail Freebooter is a card that pumps our champ. Alright. They have a Thoughtseize, Edge Champion, Steel Overseer. Wow, they didn't. Yeah, I guess. Alright, Edge Champion's gonna be a problem. The only card I can take is Thoughtseize. Do I have to choose a card? Because I really don't want to take the Thoughtseize. You choose. Yeah, I don't get a choice here. My choice is that I have to choose. But Mutavault is actually good against Edge Champions, so oops. I'm gonna go to 15, get Plains. Activate Mutavault, so we can hold up the Ghost Quarter. Kinda wanna just Ghost Quarter now. Give them fewer lands in their deck. So they can't play the Edge Champion next turn, which keeps them alive. But I'll wait. They have a low chance of drawing something that makes a mana here. They can cast Glintnest Crane. Bringing them to 3. Not really scared of any artifacts they could find with the Stony in play, but Signal Pest is good. I guess that's the most scary. And now they're in chump mode. I guess I could have killed the Spire so they couldn't have cast Glint Nest that turn. That probably was correct. I probably misplayed there. Yeah, I think I was supposed to kill Spire so they couldn't cast Glint Nest Crane. Yep. It's hard. Magic's hard. But we're in good position here. I feel like we're still gonna get this one. Yeah, if we stop them from Glint Nest Craning, this would kill all their creatures. Yeah. Whoops. At this point, I'm just going to let them have the Spire. They might also be on Island, so that might not have done anything. Some of these decks play Island instead of Mountain. Kind of want to find out now. Mountain, alright. So we could have kept him off Glint Nest for sure. Unfortunately. Three. I was probably supposed to attack with Lieutenant there. Like, if they blocked Lieutenant, then they were taking at least 2. That sort of does something. I guess they're not dead? No, they're dead. Oh, and they're super dead. But I'm not even going to show them the fatal push. Alright. Alright. So, yeah, I shouldn't have let them cast Glintless Crane there. That was definitely a misplay, but obviously Stony Silence is pretty good. Rest in Peace does stop Ravager. The modular doesn't work, but it's definitely not a card I'm going to bring in here. I think just 3 Ether Vial, 3 Stony Silence, and the rest of the setup seems good. We want all the removal. We want... I mean, Freebooter is not great, but it's a flyer, which is really good. A 1/2 flyer actually is pretty powerful against Affinity in general. Really good against Signal Pest, so I think it just stays in on the merits of that alone. Not that it's probably going to get anything out of their hand, but that's just a bonus. Yeah, let's run it like this. Thraben Inspector just doesn't do enough, even though it does redraw. And let's get ready to rumble game 3. Obviously don't feel as good on the draw against Affinity, but if they don't have a pretty nutso start and we have a decent hand again, which we do, this hand's great. Again, as a turn 1 champ, turn 2 Stony Silence. They could have the Thoughtseize this time. And they actually did have the Thoughtseize last time, but they didn't have the black mana in time to cast it. Alright, they kept 6. They put a card on the bottom. Link Moth doesn't cast Thoughtseize. Memnite doesn't cast Thoughtseize without Springleaf Drum. Mox Opal can cast Thoughtseize, but they didn't cast it. That's decent for us. Alright. Do we get to play the Stony Silence next turn? I like Stony Silence backed up with some removal, which we don't have the latter, but hopefully it does enough. I mean, there's no way I'm ever mulliganing a hand with turn 2 Stony Silence against Affinity. I basically keep 6 lands Stony Silence. I think I would just keep 6 lands Stony Silence against Affinity. On the draw, on the play, whatever. Ravager, sure. So they might go all in here. Vault Scourge, yeah. They may go all in on this Vault Scourge, and they may beat us anyway. Could easily lose to this all-in Vault Scourge. Maybe I should have blocked the Memnite. Yeah, maybe I was supposed to block the Memnite knowing that I had a Stony Silence. Not sure. Maybe they have 6th. Oh shit, they have 6th. Or they just let Stony Silence resolve for no reason. I don't understand what just happened, but I'm really happy that they didn't go all in on the Vault Scourge. I think at this point I do want to block with Champ. Whoa. Did not expect Stony Silence to resolve without them going for stuff. I mean, it is risky to put everything on a Vault Scourge. But in case they find a way to deal with Stony Silence, I think I just want to trade with Ravager, and they're going to put it there. Nah. Having a 1-2 next turn seems really good. I don't really want to trade with the Mem Knight. I'm only taking 3 here. Let's just take the hit. Champ is going to be way better. So it's pretty tempting just to play Thalia here. But Freebooter's never going to get any better. And they do have a thing I can take. Alright. These. All their attacks are pretty bad at this point, so yeah, I'm just going to swing. Alright. Well, the old turn 2 Stony Silence against Affinity is panning out for us so far. I think they were supposed to go all in on Vault Scourge knowing their hand. But they didn't, and that worked out great for us. Yeah, I'm going to grab a Godless Shrine. Vizier Deferment is cool. I think we go with Thalia here. And swing champ. Gonna leave the booter back. Oh yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Now they've got a 2/2 flyer with lifelink. But that's okay, we have Vizier Deferment. And we have a faster clock. Another plating is not scary. Spire of Industry, also not scary. Activate Blinkmon Nexus, sure. It's not going to turn out how you want here. Vizier Deferment being pretty strong right now. Obviously, not as good as Flicker Wisp a lot of the time, but in this particular moment, Vizier Deferment kind of better than Flicker Wisp. It's got flash on its own. Through the Stony Silence, I flashed in a Vizier Deferment, and I'm gonna eat this Mem Knight, which normally Flicker Wisp can't do because it doesn't have 2 toughness. And Vizier Deferment doing it all right here. That is that's boding pretty well on Vizier Deferment's side of things. Yeah, I'm gonna play Bob. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. No, it's not lethal. Close. guess they could draw Whip Flare, and that would be pretty annoying. I mean, our hand's full of more creatures, but Whip Flare would still be annoying. And we got him. Budgety Modern, yeah. Hello and welcome to round 4 with Black White Humans. We're gonna play first because that's just always correct. This hand's great. We're gonna keep it. Can't imagine any deck in Modern wants to go second. Unless you're playing against Smallpox, then maybe you want to go second, or 8-rack, whatever it is. But yeah, we're gonna keep. Play the turn 1 Vial, even though it makes us a little bit slower than playing turn 1 Champ. Vial just is gonna add so much mana over the course of the next few turns. In the course of the game, it adds like 8 to 10 mana if you get it out on turn 1. Looting. Oh. Okay. This is bad. We're gonna have to be as aggressive as possible here, which is definitely something that can happen. Dredge is fast, but we could be as fast as Dredge with this hand. Yeah. Just gonna play the Champ now so that we can play the Bob and get the counter on Champ. And pass the turn here. If they have a Dark Blast, that would be annoying. Alright, that wasn't the best of dredges from them. They dredged 4 on Golgari Thug and didn't hit much. They're casting Golgari Thug. When it dies, but the top just a 1/1. Alright, this is good for us. Ollie's Lieutenant. Yeah, I think we want to attack with Mutavault here. Another Mutavault. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I think we want to play the other Mutavault. Ooh, which one is the newly controlled one? Yeah, we got a nice aggressive hand here. This is the power of this deck. We revealed the Thalia's Lieutenant, probably, yeah. Just in case they wanted to block Bob, we're gonna do it like that, but I think we revealed the Thalia's Lieutenant. Yeah, so they knew about it, but still good to we hope they forgot. They're at 8, and we're in commanding position here. Eat your heart out, Dredge. How's that for a turn 3? I don't think they can stop us here. They do have a Conflagrate in the yard now. They have 6 cards in hand, but they're just going to scoop. Alright, that worked out really well. Big old Champagne. And we have Grafdigger's Cages and Rest in Pieces for days. Combal, nah. Warzat Pontiff, probably. It kills a lot of their guys. Fatal Push, no. Collective Brutality, nah. So I think we want those 6 cards, and what doesn't seem that good? Thraben Inspector is not great. It does help us draw into our Graveyard Hate though, so there's that. Thalia's good. Slows him down. Mirror Crusader actually does attack through pretty much all their creatures except for Narcomoebas. So that's kind of nice. Their creatures coming in tapped is actually pretty huge. Vizier, it's not great. It's okay. It's probably not necessary because we can cut those and probably cut the Thraben Inspectors. Run it like that. Certainly rather have rest in peace. Let's do it. Champion to rest in peace. I'm down. Here comes Faithless Looting. No whammies, no whammies. Kogari Thug Narcomoeba. That's not so bad. I've seen worse. Yeah, I'm actually going to start with Vile. It makes more sense. Neonate, Bloodghast, Lightning Axe. Neonate. Sack it. Charge some more. Say no more, say no more. Bunch of crap in there. Hit a Narcomoeba. Dark Blast. Getting back Bloodghast, that's fine. Faithless Looting, whoa. Stinkweed Imp, Kogari Thug, whoa. Alright. Well, they filled up their graveyard nice and good. Maybe they don't have a black source. They didn't get back their Dark Blast, which is good for us as well. Yeah, rip. I don't feel like we're in bad position, and they scooped. Alright. Well, that's you're playing Dredge, sometimes they have the rest in peace, and you can't do anything. Budgety Modern, yeah. Alright, and welcome to round 5. We are doing pretty well. 3-1 right now, just beat Dredge pretty easily. Turns out aggro decks can race Dredge, which we were able to do game 1, and then game 2, rest in peace, on turn 2. Was lights out. But here we go, another good draw. We're gonna keep this hand. Looks like Death and Taxes, yeah. Sort of a mirror. Not quite, but similar to a mirror. Don't know how this matchup will go. I know we're more aggressive, but they are just a little bit better at doing the Death and Taxes thing. Oh, it's green-white. Interesting. This will be fun. Do love me some Death and Taxes mirrors. Obviously, this isn't the mirror, but Ether Vial creature deck mirrors are pretty fun. Usually pretty interactive. Because this is an Ether Vial creature deck mirror, I'm pretty sure I want to use up my fetch land right now, because there's a very, very high chance that they have Leonin Arbiter in their deck. So let's grab that Swamp. Reboot a little bit. Path, birds. Alright, their hand is not great. Couple of paths and a bird. And we got one of the paths. Something I want to figure out why this happens is Kitesail Freebooter reveals their hand and then you choose a card, and then it like reveals those cards again under the revealed cards pile, which is just really clunky on Moto. Not that Moto isn't pretty clunky in general. No offense, Moto. I mean a little bit of offense, but I do love you. It's just you're kind of clunky, all right? You're kind of clunky, and Kite Sail is super clunky. All right, they have all the mana in the world. Hopefully nothing to do with it. If they find a collected company, that'd be really bad. But I'm okay with their Temple Garden and Path in hand. We just have to fade some creatures for a little bit. We're a little flooded as well, but hopefully this Thraben Inspector can dig us out. Shouldn't ever mention the flood, because that's when it gets you. Oh, come on. Ooh. All right. I will probably just path whatever 2-drop they have, if they do have a 2-drop here. Although I guess if they have a Thalia, then I couldn't have pathed it, and we just would have lost our Thraben Inspector. But it's not the end of the world. We're super flooded. Playing 21 lands in this deck. Below average for a modern deck, I'd say. Our curve stops at 3, and we only have like 6 3-drops. Maybe 5, 6, I think. Just gonna go ahead and pretend I have a creature on this Ether Vial. Just kidding. It's probably better to leave it on 2. Path the Freebooter. Okay. Gonna get back your path, that makes sense. Yeah, we're just gonna leave it on 2. There we go. A reason to leave it on 2. Bob is very good in this matchup, and I'm sure if they, well, they're gonna path the Bob, but it uses up their path. They're just activating their Vial to scare me, which I just did last turn, so I can't say anything about it because it's a good move. Yeah, so we're gonna Vial in Bob because it just doesn't really make a ton of sense not to. Island, what? This is interesting. What? They're gonna path our Bob. We don't actually even have a land to get when they path our Bob, which is pretty sad. Maybe we save the Bob, make them use the path a different time. Yeah, I'm just gonna hold the Bob. 2 Bobs. I mean, that was fine. It was a fine draw. They're gonna be like, why did you cast Bob? Yeah, I don't know either, honestly. Just trying to overload their path. Or what? They have a counterspell? Collected company. Yeah, it sucks. Gasali Bridemaid. Gasali. Wow. Alright, I mean, it could have been worse. That's good though. I think that's what they were trying to do. So they clearly are playing Spell Queller and Ether Vial. That's interesting. I haven't seen that. Collected Company, Ether Vial, and Spell Queller in the same deck before. This is an interesting build. They're not trying to kill my Vial, so I guess we'll just let that be where it is. Swinging for 2 with birds. Fair enough. Certainly not going to be a short game. They're just going to end step here? They want me to untap with Bob? I'm really confused as to them not pathing. That is really strange. Cool. I'm all about drawing 3 cards a turn. Yeah, going with a no on the Vial here. Kind of want to trade a Bob for a Pride Mage, but I think I want one more round of draws. Also, attacking into a Coco would be really, really sad. They know about the freebooter, but I'd rather they counter Thalia than freebooter. So I'm just going to cast it main phase here. See if they want to respond with a Coco or something. No? Alright. Now it's tempting to attack with the Bobs. But I'm going to wait. I'm going to be patient here. I think we can get another couple draw steps in. Alright. On their draw step, I'm going to freebooter. We know they have a path. So we're going to hit something here. They may just path the freebooter in response. But there's attacks on that path, which is nice. Doesn't matter a ton. Oh, they're going to path the Thalia. Interesting. Okay. We are out of basics. So, path's pretty strong against us right now. It's just 1 mana, exile target creature. Spell Queller Forest. Okay. So our path isn't going to work out like we wanted. They're going to hit us for 2. Spell Queller's pretty good against us. Looks like we're attacking with the Bobs next turn. They played the Forest. Draw me that card. Another path. That's good. Ooh. I mean, Thalia's great, but ooh. I might as well take it up. Let's just get that Dahlia in play right now. Yeah, we're gonna attack with everybody but the inspector here. They're not gonna block at all. Alright. A Path of Pride Mage. I guess I'll do it on their turn. Oops. Huh. Yeah, I kind of meant to path before the Exalted triggers. Going to 6 here, this could be bad. Bob may kill us. They can vial in the Spell Queller. Yeah, I think... I mean, this will work out great, because we're going to path the Spell Queller now. But we could just die to our Bobs. Yeah, I definitely should have done this pre-combat. And we should still be at 7. Ugh. Oh, man. Alright, Bob's killing us right now. Bob is killing us. See if we can't draw something good off this Thraben Inspector. I mean, Mirror Crusader's great. It's going to win the game eventually. But Bob's going to kill us if we don't get pretty lucky next turn. Another Bob. Alright. Yeah, we might just lose to these Bobs. Let's see what's going on up there in that hand. Granted, Coco's not that bad because Dahlia, but... Alright, Windswept Heath isn't so bad. We were just swinging out here. We have a flying blocker for their flyers. We have ground pounders. Yeah, we're just swinging out for sure. They're taking 5. Going to 7. And we just have to get really lucky that these Bobs don't kill us next turn, which we've gotten really unlucky so far. Ooh, Kessig Wolfrun. That would have killed us, huh? Yeah, that would have been pretty good. So we've got 1 turn to win. We know their card in hand is Alright. So they block 3 things. They're gonna block 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we got him as long as these Bobs don't kill us. Alright, Bob. Don't do me like that, dude. Bob got me. So close. Alright, yeah, if we had just done that, the path play pre-combat, we actually win this game, because Thalia would have put us to 1, and then we would have drawn a courtyard with the second one, and we would have won the game. So it was a slight misplay that let them deal 1 more damage to us, and we lost the game because of it. Pretty huge, and really something that could have been avoided, and it's a pretty big bummer. So they're likely playing Noble Hierarchs and Birds of Paradise, and probably don't have that many ways to pump them. So Orzhov Pontiff seems really good. Unfortunately, we lost that game when our opponent had a pretty bad hand. 1 Collected Company was all we saw, and they're likely playing at least a few of those. And basically they had like a Collected Company that hit 2 Pride Mages, and then a Spell Queller was like their whole draw, and we lost, which is pretty crappy. Yeah, Fatal Push will be good. I'm not sure if Grafdigger's Cage is good or not, because I don't know how many Cocos they're playing. I think we'll just bring in 1, because they might be on like 2 Coco, in which case we don't want that many. Vizier is okay. Most of their creatures we don't really want to blink. A lot of their creatures are comes in the battlefield, has an effect. Creatures. Thraben Inspector's good at pulling us ahead, I guess. Freebooter's okay. Maybe the Grafdigger's Cage isn't worth it, since we have the Freebooters to get the Cocos. What are we cutting for those Fatal Pushes? Probably like an Inspector, maybe 2 Inspectors. I'd rather remove their creature than play an Inspector most of the time. Thalia is certainly good against Coco. Yeah. Don't know how many Cocos they're on. This is the good part about playing a deck that is really strange. Like our opponent's playing an Ether Vial Bant Coco deck. I don't know what they're playing. They could be on Knights, in which case I definitely want Rest in Peace, but I didn't see any Knights. This hand's great. We're gonna keep. Yeah, I don't know really what they're doing, so that really gives them a pretty big advantage in the match. Other than, I mean, I know most of the cards in their deck, I just don't know what the core idea is, other than like Cocos, Ether Vials, and Mana Dorks, and like obviously powerful Bant creatures. But yeah, not really sure what's going on, and that could be problematic. Mirran Crusader is going to be great. If they don't have Path to Exile for Mirran Crusader, we're going to be able to pull ahead pretty fast, because it seems like their whole deck folds to this guy. Let's see what they got in hand. Glittering Wish. What the hell does Glittering Wish get? I mean, I have to take the path, but what are they going to do with this? I'm pretty scared of what they can get with Glittering Wish. Yeah, I'm definitely spooked. Definitely spooked here. I kind of want to see what it is though. So I kind of want to leave them with the glittering wish just to see what they're gonna get. Like it could be steal the Godhead on their Geist and then we just lose. Can't beat that. Yeah, I guess there's the Geist. And then they just steal. That's a good draw. What was in their hand again? These 4 cards. These 3 cards are what we know about. Ghost Quarter, Spell Queller, Glittering Wish. So if they play Ghost Quarter, they Glittering Wish for Steal the Godhead. They can't cast it yet. Cost 3. I'm pretty sure we just Mirror Crusader Thalia's Lieutenant here. And then try to just kill them next turn. We'll just try to race them, because how else are we going to win this game? There's some value to holding the Thalia's Lieutenant there, since it actually only adds 1 damage right now. Yeah, I probably should have waited, because if they were thinking like, oh, well, I'm going to be able to attack the Geist into the Mirror Crusader, which they probably wouldn't do anyway because it has double strike. Yeah, I think it was fine to just get the extra damage in. Might actually really end up mattering because of Pontiff. Yeah, this is going to be a race. Spell Queller actually does block Mirror Crusader, which is kind of a pain. Get that Plains. Glit Wish. You got it. What are you going to get? I'm scared. What could it be? Search in your sideboard for something to get with Glittering Wish. It's like Demonic Tutor. Modern Demonic Tutor. Obviously not as good, but if you put some good multicolored cards in your sideboard, I don't know what you'd get. So next turn I'm going to Violin Pontiff, maybe in combat. What did they get? They don't have to show me? You got Pride Mage? Choose a multicolored card, reveal that card. Oh, alright, it's Pride Mage. Alright. I was like, they don't have to show me what card it is? That's weird. Alright, now they have double Exalted. So they're going to attack. They're going to swing for 8 here. So if I go to 10, then next turn we're attacking for, we can path and we'll be attacking for 8 plus 3 is 11. No, if we path then we just win. Yeah, alright, we win. Yeah, we got this. Cool. Wow. Where's that Pontiff? Bringing the beats. Sweet. We go to 10 and you go to dead. Yeah, let's go ahead and pat this friend. Doesn't matter what land you get because you're dead. Creatures you control get +1/+1. And dead. Wow, yeah, that's a lot of damage. Mirror Crusader, pretty strong with pump effects, I've heard. I've heard that it does a lot of damage. So, they are playing Geist of St. Trapped and Glittering Witch. Does that change anything about what I want to be doing? Vizier is good against the Angel part of Geist. Also pretty good against Geist because it can jump in there, block. But I think actually Thalia is pretty bad in this matchup. I'm not 100% sure why I'm playing that. Glittering Wish searches their deck, searches their outside of the game. It's not searching their deck, so it doesn't matter. But I guess Favorite Inspector is better than Thalia. And Vizier is probably also better than Thalia. Just has more utility. Thalia's first strike is pretty good, but most of their creatures are going to be pretty big. Maybe I'll go to 3 Inspectors, 1 Thalia. They did path my Thalia. Maybe 2 and 2. They pathed my Thalia in game 1. Yeah, I could see Vizier Deferment getting us there against the Angel and then attacking back for lethal somehow. Of course I have both Thalias in hand, but I also have a path and a big Thalia, so I'm going to keep this. It's kind of a bummer that I boarded out 2 of the Thalias and we have 2 of them in hand, but yep, birds. In that case, I may want a path on their turn. It's actually pretty likely that I'll want a path. Because they're probably going to play a 3-drop here. If it's Geist, then obviously Path doesn't do much, but this is not a Noble Hierarch, so Geist could be okay with Thalia. Thalia does block Geist really well when it doesn't have Exalted. This Thalia blocks Geist pretty well even when it does have Exalted. Playing Ether Vial, that's okay. Pride Mage. I don't know when else I'm going to use this path, so I feel like I'm just going to path the Pride Mage right now. It does ramp them into being able to Coco next turn, but it also doesn't because we have a Thalia. So yeah, I'm just going to do this now because the next 2 turns we're casting creatures, and there's like basically no reason I wouldn't cast Thalia into Big Thalia over the next 2 turns. So alright, maybe that's a reason to not do that. Champ. Any reason to champ? Oh, they could even Coco through Thalia at this point. Maybe it's better just to play champ. If I was going to play champ, I should have tapped. So I think I made my decision. Don't love it, but they did pat the Thalia in game 1. Let's see, they have 3 cards in hand. If they don't have a bunch of Cocos. And actually, I'm thinking they're not playing that many collected companies in their deck. Glittering Wish. What do you want to get? Geist? Geist doesn't seem good against Thalia, so probably wouldn't get Geist. The trouble with these green decks is they're playing a bunch of Birds of Paradise, a bunch of Noble Hierarchs, and then a bunch of lands, and a bunch of Ether Vials too. So the deck is just mostly mana. So they could easily flood out if we can deal with their non-land or mana producing cards. And I do have enough answers for those generally. They're tanking about which multicolored card to get in the face of this Thalia. We got Is It Staticaster? That's a good one. That's a really good one to get. Good choice. Good choice. As it doesn't stop Big Thalia, also it slows down their ability to use the Staticaster. So that's nice, but Staticaster is a problem. Selfless Spirit. Sure. Well, we get a couple turns of attacking with Little Thalia. And they have Is It Staticaster and Unknown card in their hand. They just cast Selfless Spirit, which doesn't really say anything because they probably just want to use their mana anyway there. Even though Ether Vial is going to be on 2 this turn, they'd rather be able to attack with Selfless Spirit right now. So it doesn't really tell me anything that they played Selfless Spirit about the other card in their hand. Another Ether Vial is totally okay. Another land is totally fine. Alright, this is good. We're getting in for 5. This is alright. I'm probably going to cast Champion of Parish into another Thalia just to make sure that Champ can't die to Staticaster rather than attacking with Mutavault here, even though there's definitely some equity to be gained by attacking with Mutavault. I think we'd rather have a relevant threat that's going to get bigger later. So if we just attack with the Mutavault here, we're getting in for 7. And then we're just going to let these things be dead to the... Yeah, maybe that's better. think just putting the pressure on is better here. My opponent's pretty talkative, which is nice. I understand it's probably not the most interesting conversation for the video, but actually maybe it is. It's fun to see like friendly players, especially like round 5 of a competitive league, talking about stuff and things. Another champ. Oh. How'd you do, champion? Yeah, I suppose we're just gonna swing. Maybe I should have swung Mutavault. Not sure about it. Yeah, I probably should have swung Mutavault. I didn't actually lose anything. Yeah, I should have swung Mutavault for sure. That was incorrect. Telling my opponent that this deck's gonna be in an article. Now we have 2 champs to get through. Activate Ether Vial on 1. What's this? Noble Hierarch, sure. Crack Misty, sure. Stomping Ground, sure. Yeah, I'm just gonna play the Godless Shrine. I don't think it makes a ton of sense to hold it up as if we have something here. Pretty sure if they don't draw something great this turn, we're in really good shape. Yeah, they have to draw something pretty stellar this turn. They at least have to not blank this turn. So they're going to tap Staticaster. Yeah, if we draw another human, we're in really good shape. Kill Thalia, sure. Alright, they drew something. Glittering Wish. Uh-oh. That is what they wanted. Fiery Justice. Ooh. Okay, that was a good one. Yeah, that's a problem. Something. It's pretty good. Yeah, it's really good actually. We're just gonna cast it right now. No reason not to just cast it, because yeah, now they have to trade off with Mutavault, and we still have a 3/3, which is very good on this board. They're gonna kill the Bob, but alright. So yeah, Bob's gonna die. But 3/3 versus Staticaster is pretty good, so we're still in pretty good shape here. And my 3/3 stands to probably get bigger this game. There's no way they can let me untap a Bob. What? They can let me draw 2 cards? That's just crazy. Ooh, I don't want to play the other Bob. But I will... I don't know, I guess I'll just attack, because then if they Coco... then I can violin the Thalia in response. Alright, that's fine. Fine, 2. Ooh, killed it. What could they get? I don't know what they could get, but they clearly didn't have the Coco, so just gonna file that in right now. Even though maybe that's wrong, maybe they like could have a sweeper. Oops. I'm gonna add them as a buddy. They were nice. They were a nice opponent. Fun deck that we played against in round 5 there. Fiery Justice with Glimmering Wish. Glittering Wish? Glimmering Wish? Glittering Wish. It's really cool. Interesting deck. I don't know if it's super strong, but Fiery Justice is a hell of a Magic card, and I mean playing Mana Dorks and Geist of St. Traps is definitely a way to win games of Magic. The only thing I would maybe wonder about it, it's definitely a different deck than like Bant Nightfall, but I wonder how much better this deck could possibly be than Bant Nightfall. So it's tough, like a deck like that that's pretty established, but I always love people brewing interesting new takes on things, and this deck seems really fun and really interesting. Definitely worth trying out. But yeah, anyway, back to this deck, the Black White Humans deck. We went 4-1. It was a pretty good showing. We beat Scapeshift. Then we lost to Black White Eldrazi processors, and then beat Affinity, beat Dredge, and then beat that Bant Splash Red Ether Vial Glittering Wish deck. So this deck seems pretty powerful. I mean, Mirror Crusader's a good card. It beats a lot of decks by itself. And we have enough aggression with the early game in Champion of the Parish and Thalia's Lieutenant. We were able to kill opponents really quickly. Like, we won game 1 against Scapeshift on turn 4. This deck plays a pretty good disruptive game while actually really packing a punch. Overall, 4-1, great showing. Thanks for hanging out. I'll see you next time here on NewmontGaming.com. Later, guys. Budgety Modern, yeah.